Palms touch at heart center. We'll return. Eyes closed. Find that full breath. Belly, chest, and throat. Ujjayi. Good. Eyes can open. Grab your strap. And I think for this one too, sitting up onto your bolster will be helpful as well, because we're not working so much. This is a shoulder opener, so let's just take any strain out of the lower body. So you have your strap, bring it in your right hand, go Mukasana, cow face arms is where we're headed. So you're holding onto the strap in your right hand, and your left hand will come up behind your back, and you'll just try to walk those hands as close together as you can. Now you might not need a strap, but likely you'll need a strap. And we're just gonna sit up nice and tall here, breathing our full Ujjayi breath and trying to press. So here's what I want you to think about. Trying to press the right elbow and upper arm back. But as soon as we do that, a lot of times we just feel that in the chest. So we think to try and get that arm back, we meet some resistance in the shoulder, but then we want to keep going. So then we get the spine involved. Try not to do that. Try to knit those front ribs down. Keep your spine really tall. And just focus on lifting that elbow, right elbow up to the ceiling, and pressing that upper arm as far back as you comfortably can from the shoulder, not from the spine. That's right. We're holding it for quite some time. Stay with it a bit longer. One last breath. Good. Now let your arms slowly unwind. You're likely feeling that in both the shoulders. Just give a shake and a release. All right, and we'll switch sides. A different stretch as you hold the strap in the left hand. And the right hand begins to weave its way up the back. And just try to get those hands as close together as you comfortably can here. Nice. Now, note the spine. Just like on the other side, we're going to keep the ribs knitted and lift up the left elbow towards the ceiling and press it behind you. But noticing as soon as you want to get that motion from the spine, right? We're not doing that today. We're really just trying to isolate this stretch and release in the shoulders. And then we'll breathe here. So use your breath, your Ujjayi breath. Use your full yogic breath, breathing that Ujjayi into the belly, into the chest, into the throat, the base of the throat. And exhaling from throat, down through ribs, down through belly. One more breath. All right. Whew. Release that down and shake out the arms. Feel that warmth and rush of heat through the arms. And come off the bolster. All right. You'll want to have your bolster and your block close by. Going to turn around here. Feet onto the mat. Come forward so that you can release down onto your back. So we'll do this with care. Nice and slowly, hands come forward. Feet are pressed down into the mat. Send your belly button back and roll down with the strength of your core. 1, vertebrae at a time. Good job. Once you're down, you can relax here for a minute, constructive rest. Feet on the mat. Just take a couple breaths to feel the length of the spine. Releasing out onto the floor. Now we'll lift the feet up, right? Hands come out in a T position and thread your right knee on top of the left. So like eagle legs here, supine eagle or twisted roots, it's called in yin. Knees come down to the the left side. So knees come to the left side and you'll reach with your left hand towards the knees. Shift your gaze to the right fingertips. Keep your right shoulder firmly anchored on the floor and breathe. So about 5 really full, slow, delicious breaths, letting the spine unwind, letting your body rest. But this isn't a time to space out or to let the mind run. This is a time to be here, to be in the body, to be focused, to feel what's actually happening, and to utilize your awareness to benefit and enhance your experience of the posture. So how can you move toward yourself here? Last exhale. Come back to center slowly with your inhale. Unwind the legs, constructive rest. Feet onto the mat, any position you like for your hands. Take a few breaths. Full, big belly breathing. Belly breath rising to chest. Breath coming all the way to the base of the throat. And then releasing fully. We'll do the other side. So lift the feet up. This time, left ankle or left knee rather crosses over. Hands release in a T and drop the knees down to the right side. The right hand will reach for them to ground and anchor the knees down. Gaze goes to the left. And rest your bones. The intention here is to restore. So the posture does all the work. It's providing this wonderful ringing for the spine. It's providing this exceptional twist for the digestive organs, all the viscera. There's even some hip opening, some shoulder opening. And we just meet ourselves here with a breath that is alternately releasing tension and drawing in rejuvenation. Not letting a single breath go by without your full awareness of it. Breath in, breath out.
Good. We'll return to center. Take your time. It's good to come back on an inhale. We'll pause again here. Constructive rest. So feet on the mat, hands in any position. Close eyes or keep eyes softly focused. Breathe. Now, grab your bolster. We'll lift the hips. Actually, grab your block. I want to do the opposite. So grab your block first and roll over to the side. Place your block in its lowest configuration uh, so that it's going to support you for supported fish pose. It will support the ribs. And as you come onto your back again, forearms are down. This is the easiest way to get in. Forearms are down, and then you can use your hands underneath you to adjust the block as needed. What you'll find is that your head is actually going to come down to rest on the floor. So the block is underneath your body, but your top of your head is coming on the floor. And this will powerfully open up the front ribs. Hands release down at the sides. So the goal here is to let everything relax and at the same time, really use the breath to enhance a release through the chest. So breathing into the front of the chest, but also noticing how the block is creating a nice therapeutic compression along the spinal column and along all the points where the ribs connect into the spine in the back body. Try to let the shoulder heads drop down so that the collarbones are wide, they're broad, and there's a heaviness in the shoulder head. Aware perhaps of any gentle pulling through the neck, through the throat, the front of the neck. Every breath coming in, expanding through the chest. Every breath going out, the chest condenses. About 2 more breaths here. As you prepare to transition, reach one hand back to the base of the head, the back of the head, and use your arm strength to support the neck as you lift the head up. And then you can roll out to one side on the forearm and just remove the block. You'll lie flat onto your back on your mat. Constructive rest, feet on the floor, knees lifted. Take a breath. Noticing what you notice along the spinal column, how it feels perhaps a little different in its relationship to the floor now. Now, grabbing the bolster and lifting the hips. So you'll bring your bolster underneath the hips. Hips will be lifted higher than the heart. And legs come straight up to the sky. Arms come overhead and take the wrists as wide as you need with the elbows bent so that the whole of the arm is on the floor. This again helps the shoulders to soften. We can begin with just some gentle pointing and flexing of the feet to encourage blood flow, and perhaps some gentle circling of the ankles. It's gentle, it's soft, it's slow, it's not intense. And when you've had enough of that, just let your legs come back to center. Let the eyes close. Still stay with your Ujjayi breath, though. It's not Shavasana. It is an active posture, so breathing consciously, breathing deeply. Noticing the sensations in the feet and the lower legs as the blood begins to move back towards the heart. Giving our heart a break, letting the circulatory system rest. One last breath. The knees bend, feet come onto the mat, hands reach down onto the bolster, hips lift, and you'll slide the bolster down towards the knees for our final resting pose. So you might bring the bolster up on its edge so that you get a nice big bend in the knees, or you're also welcome to have the bolster flat. You can also take the bolster out entirely if you wish to lie flat. As you come into your Shavasana, into our final rest, press down into the elbows so that you can walk the shoulder blades together and down in the back. And then let the hands release 45 degrees or so from the body. Take a couple deep, purposeful breaths, perhaps even with a sigh on the exhale, as a gesture of your willingness to completely let go of any tension at all. And when it feels right to you, let everything go, even the breath. This is where I'll leave you today. Please, I encourage you to stay in this final resting position for as long as you're able to. Thank you for practicing, and I'll see you again next time.